Alright, I have in the notes this diagram here that's got some of these parts labeled, but rather than using this, I think it'd be better to just go ahead and use the desktop that I have right here. Let's minimize that. There we go. This is my desktop. Now, we use this term interchangeably. The entire thing sometimes we call the desktop, or just this big blue area we sometimes call the desktop. But properly speaking, this blue area that you see on here is my desktop. Down here at the bottom, this entire thing is sometimes called the taskbar, although sometimes we use the taskbar for just this little center section here. So let's talk about these various parts on here. First of all, we have the start button here, and when we click it, we just have what we call start. It used to be the start menu, now it's just start. Next to it is the search box, and next to that is Cortana. Now, if you have a previous version, such as the 1809 version, Cortana and the search box were one and the same, but now they've been separated out. Over here we have something called Task View, or the Task Viewer, which we will talk about in more detail. As a matter of fact, this entire module will be about all these things in more detail. And then I've got some icons down here. Some of them are pinned and not running, and some of them have a little blue line underneath there, and they are running. In fact, if I run one of those things, as you see right now, I've got Word running. The background of that turns a little bit lighter so that I can see that that is the currently, or I should say the application currently in focus. And when I minimize it, it's still running. It's got the blue line in there, but it doesn't have that lighter blue highlight around the entire thing. So this is indeed the taskbar proper, although we really say the whole thing is a taskbar. Over here I've got something called People, and it is also possible to use this to add more contacts if I want specific people to show up on the taskbar. That's possible too. Over here we have something called the notification area. Some people call it the system tray, but that is not Microsoft's term for it. It is called I should say the file name for it is systray.exe, and so that's how we started calling it the system tray. But really it's called the notification area. Next to that I have something called the Windows Ink workspace. We will talk about that in greater detail in a little bit. The touch keyboard, which we will talk about in greater detail. Here's the clock and the calendar over here. Right here is something called the Action Center. You see I've got some notifications on there right now, but we'll take a look at that a little bit more later on. And then way over here in the very bottom corner, I have something called Windows Peak, and it's really hard to see, but it's a very, very thin line right at the end of the taskbar there. And then, of course, the desktop proper. So that's it for this, for the general layout of this thing. And there are some other things that I can add onto this taskbar and so on, but we will talk about how we do that as we go along. So thank you for listening.